Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Gadigal people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Amanda Bauer. It's Thursday, February 23. In Squiz Kids Today, Voyager's promise fulfilled, Happy Nyan 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 Day, Saturn's spoke season, and fish raining from the sky. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
You know the saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again? After trying for almost a decade, Perth-based band Voyager has finally succeeded in being selected to represent Australia at the international song contest called Eurovision, with their song Promise. They are the first Aussie band to make it. All of our previous entrants have been individual performers. Voyager has 7 albums under its belt and regularly tours Australia and the world. Ever since Australia was admitted into the Eurovision contest in 2015, they have set their sights on representing our country. Every year they've written and submitted a song. Last year they won the popular vote, but not the overall vote. So finally, in 2023, the rock-pop band with lots of hair made it. Voyager will take the stage in May in Liverpool, which is a city in England. Usually the country that wins Eurovision hosts the next year's contest, but you might remember that Ukraine was victorious last year, and due to the ongoing war with Russia, they were not able to host. Between now and May, Voyager says they'll be practicing their song, learning some choreography, and sewing a lot of sequins onto jackets. Eurovision is known for its glitzy stagecraft. I'll put links in your episode notes to their song Promise, as well as to the Eurovision YouTube channel, which highlights some of Voyager's competition.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Japan, where National Cat Day was celebrated yesterday. Japan loves its cats. It's the home, after all, of Hello Kitty, the world's first cat cafes, that waving lucky cat you see in a lot of shops, and there's even a Japanese samurai cat film. February 22, which of course was yesterday's date, is written 222, which in Japanese is nye nye nye. And in Japanese, the sound a cat makes is nyan nyan nyan, which, if you think about it, sounds quite a lot like a cat and a bit like the word for two. So February 22 is Neko no Hi, or Cat Day. This is one of those stories where pictures are worth thousands of words, so you'll find in your episode notes some images from yesterday of people wearing cat ears, Nintendo's cat hat line, released especially for Cat Day, and other treats.
Spaced out.
After 14 years, Saturn's spoke season has returned. Now, you would be forgiven for wondering, what is spoke season? Well, you know how a bicycle's wheel has spokes, those things that radiate out to the edge of the wheel? Well, every 14 years, Saturn develops mysterious spokes on its rings during the planet's equinox. Tilted planets like Earth and Saturn have an equinox when their planet is at a specific angle to the sun, making the length of day and night exactly the same. Earth has 4 seasons in 1 year and 2 equinoxes per year. On Saturn, 1 season lasts 7 years, not 3 months like on Earth. So they only have an equinox every 14 years, and it lasts for much longer. The current equinox that's just starting will be at its strongest in May 2025. And the spokes, captured recently by the Hubble Space Telescope, well, scientists believe that they're caused by Saturn's magnetic field interacting with solar winds and causing some particles in Saturn's rings to levitate higher and create the spoke lines. They are similar to our northern and southern lights. I've put a link to a video with more explanation and images.
Believe it or not.
We've all heard people say it's raining cats and dogs, when in reality all that's falling from the sky is a lot of water. But in the remote outback community of Lajamanu, it has literally rained live fish from the sky. Lajamanu is on the edge of the Tanami Desert, and locals were amazed when a big rainstorm also dropped large, live spangled perch from the sky. Spangled perch are one of the most common freshwater fish in Australia, and sometimes a strong tornado can suck fish out of a river or creek and then drop them hundreds of kilometres away. As long as the spangled perch aren't sucked too high up and don't stay out of the water too long, they land when they're still wriggling. And although I do understand that the falling fish were a huge surprise to the Lajamanu community, imagine how it was for the fish.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. How long does one season last on Saturn? Yeah, you had to be listening pretty carefully for this one. It's 7 years. Question number 2. What kind of fish fell from the sky in Lajamanu? Well done, careful listeners. They were spangled perch. And question number 3. What is the name of the Perth band that's going to Eurovision? Bonus point if you can name their song. Yeah, it's Voyager, and their song is Promise.
Shout outs.
It's February 23, and on this day, way back in 1945, 6 American Marines raised their flag in a place called Iwo Jima in Japan during the final stages of World War II. I'll put the photo in your episode notes. It won a lot of prizes, and I am pretty sure you'll recognise it. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Ashley from Manupara, Maddie from Clairvaux, Brooke from Glenmore Park, Max from Lake Bolac, Elliot from Camden, Ashton from Waverley, Ashton from Austinmer, Harry from Clifton Hill, Jack from Traralgon, and Liam from Spring Mountain. Belated shout-outs go to Austin from Bathurst, Jack from Brisbane, Stuart from Melbourne, Mia from Darwin, Dara from Waverley, and Maya and Hannah from Palmerston. Classroom shout-outs go to classes 5 Red and Blue with Mrs Weir and Miss Kay at St Agnes Primary School in Mount Gravatt, Class 3E and Miss Ella at Lane Cove West Public School, Class 5 MC and Mrs McTavish at Scott's All Saints College in Bathurst, Class 5-6ES with Mr Evers and Mrs Spence at Lumiere Public School, and lastly, Class 5J with Mrs Borge and Mrs Davis at Lily Pilly Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you want a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. That's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.